What if I told you there is a forgotten secret, a hidden law of the universe that can unlock unlimited wealth in your life starting today? Not through endless struggle, not through luck, and not through outside permission, but through a power that has always been within you. This secret has been known to the wise, passed down quietly through the ages, yet most people walk through life completely unaware of it. Imagine a life where money flows effortlessly, doors open without struggle, opportunities arrive as if by magic, and your deepest desires are met because you have finally aligned with the law that governs all abundance. What you are about to learn is the key to turning thought into reality, imagination into fortune, and faith into wealth. By the end of this message, you will understand how to awaken this secret within yourself and step into a life of prosperity that has always belonged to you. In the beginning of all creation, the Word was the force that set life in motion. The unseen became seen, the formless took form, and what was once hidden in silence was brought forth by the vibration of sound. This ancient principle has been handed down through the ages, yet it is often forgotten by those who toil under the belief that wealth is earned only through labor, striving, and endless struggle. The truth is that every word you speak is a seed, and when spoken with conviction and faith, it carries within it the power to shape reality. Words are not idle, they are commands to the universe, and the universe always obeys. When you speak words of lack, saying, "I can never afford this," or "Money slips through my hands," those words take root in the soil of your subconscious mind, and they bring forth fruit after their kind. Lack will appear, debts will multiply, and obstacles will grow like weeds in a neglected garden. But when you speak words of abundance, when you declare with certainty, "The riches of the universe flow to me now," those words plant themselves deeply in fertile ground. They draw to you opportunities, resources, and doors that open in unexpected ways. The power of the spoken word is not dependent upon human reasoning, it moves with a force beyond logic, for it aligns with the divine order where wealth already exists in infinite supply. The spoken word is the key that unlocks hidden treasure. Many chase after wealth by restless action, believing only their effort can bring results, but effort without alignment is like scattering seeds on stone. The word spoken with faith is different. It is intention clothed in sound, and it summons substance from the invisible into the visible. This is the forgotten secret, that the word spoken in faith is law, and the law does not return void. When you speak words of wealth, speak them not as a beggar asking, but as one who claims what already belongs to them. Speak with authority, for authority is the true tone of creation. You do not say, "I hope to have prosperity someday." That is the language of uncertainty, and uncertainty bears no fruit. You say instead, "I am divinely supplied here and now." And the now is the only time where creation occurs. The future is only a shadow waiting for the command of the present word. Many dismiss the power of words because they speak once and do not see immediate results. But a farmer does not plant a seed and demand fruit within the hour. He trusts the process of growth, the silent forces at work beneath the soil, and he continues to water with faith. So it is with words. Each declaration of wealth is a seed, and as you water it with repetition and expectancy, it breaks through the unseen layers of resistance and comes forth in due season. To abandon the word is to dig up the seed and halt its growth. To remain steadfast in the spoken word is to align with the eternal law that cannot fail. The vibration of words carries far beyond the ears that hear them. Science has proven that sound travels endlessly, never dying but moving through waves and frequencies across space. If the spoken word never ceases to exist in the physical, how much more powerful is the word that is charged with faith, imagination, and expectancy? Each declaration of wealth becomes a living force, echoing in the corridors of creation until it manifests back into your experience. Your words return to you multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The spoken word not only attracts wealth, it also builds the consciousness capable of holding it. Wealth without inner capacity leads to loss, but wealth spoken into being through faith enlarges the soul, strengthening it to receive without fear and to give without hesitation. Each word spoken in prosperity is also a hammer striking the walls of limitation, breaking down the old structures of doubt and lack that were built by careless speech in the past. As those walls fall, new pathways open, and abundance flows where once there was only stagnation. It is vital to guard the tongue, for careless words can undo what faith has built. Complaining, doubting, and repeating words of scarcity are like pouring poison into the soil of your own garden. Speak only that which you desire, for each word spoken with intention is a decree, and decrees shape destiny. If a ruler commands with authority, and the command is carried out, how much more should you, as a co-creator with the divine, speak with certainty and watch as life obeys? There is a subtle but powerful truth in the tone and spirit with which you speak. Words spoken in desperation carry the vibration of fear, and fear repels wealth. But words spoken in calm certainty, as though the matter is already settled, carry the vibration of faith, and faith draws wealth as a magnet draws iron. It is not merely the words themselves, but the energy behind them that determines their fruit. Speak always from the place of assurance, as though your riches are already in hand, and the universe will mirror back that reality. Practice the law of spoken word daily, not as a ritual of empty repetition, but as a conscious act of creation. Speak abundance when you wake, for the dawn is the hour when the soil of the mind is most fertile. Speak prosperity over your work, over your home, over every exchange of money, for each word fortifies the flow of wealth. Speak blessings over others, for what you decree for another multiplies in your own life. Speak often. Speak with joy, speak with certainty, and let your words become the very architecture of your destiny. The forgotten secret lies not in distant mysteries, but in the tongue you use every moment. Every word is either a key that opens the gates of wealth or a chain that binds you in limitation. To speak is to create, and to create is to claim dominion over the unseen forces waiting to serve you. Wealth does not come from striving alone. It comes from aligning your speech with the eternal law of abundance. When the word and faith move together, nothing can withhold prosperity from you. The idea that wealth belongs only to a chosen few is one of the greatest illusions that has ever enslaved humanity. People have been taught to believe that prosperity must be earned through endless toil, sacrifice, and struggle, as though abundance were a prize handed out sparingly by fate. Yet the deeper truth, the forgotten truth, is that wealth is not something to chase, nor is it granted by chance. Wealth is a divine birthright. It belongs to you not because of your effort, but because of your being. You came into this world already connected to the infinite supply of the universe, and no power on earth can separate you from that inheritance except the belief that you are unworthy of it. The earth itself testifies to this truth. Look at the fields heavy with grain, the trees laden with fruit, the rivers flowing without end. Nature is not poor. The sun does not ration its light, nor does the ocean withhold its waves. The universe overflows with riches, and you are not separate from it. You are a part of its very fabric. Just as the child of a king does not question whether the palace belongs to him, you must awaken to the realization that abundance is your natural state. Lack is not truth, it is only the shadow cast by forgotten inheritance. When you declare that wealth is your birthright, you do not make a boast. You simply align with divine law. Just as gravity does not need to be begged to pull, the law of abundance does not need to be persuaded to flow. It is already in motion, waiting for you to claim it. The moment you cease to see yourself as a beggar at the gate of prosperity, and instead as a rightful heir to unlimited supply, doors begin to open, opportunities multiply, and the river of wealth, long dammed by disbelief, begins to surge freely into your life. Too many carry the false teaching that it is selfish to desire wealth, as though poverty were somehow noble. But poverty is not a virtue, it is an error of thought. The spirit within you seeks expression, and expression requires means. Without wealth, dreams remain unborn, talents remain hidden, and service remains limited. Wealth in itself is not greed, it is freedom. Freedom to give, freedom to create, freedom to uplift others and fulfill the divine purpose for which you were born. When you possess wealth with a pure heart, you become a channel through which the infinite blesses the world. The child who inherits a great fortune does not labor under the illusion that he must earn it. He accepts it with gratitude, knowing it belongs to him by right of birth. So too must you accept the truth that wealth is yours, not by human permission, but by divine ordination. The universe does not create beings and then withhold from them the means to live fully. To believe in scarcity is to believe that the Creator is unjust, but the Creator is abundant, and you are made in that likeness. As the seed holds within it the full tree, so within you lies the fullness of riches waiting to unfold. The acceptance of wealth as a birthright begins in the mind. If you continue to see yourself as unworthy, unprepared, or destined for lack, you bar the gates to your own inheritance. The key is faith. Faith that the universe is rich beyond measure, faith that you are one with its riches, and faith that no barrier is greater than the divine supply flowing toward you. The moment you shift from asking, "Do I deserve wealth?" to declaring, "Wealth is my natural inheritance," you place yourself in harmony with the law of abundance, and harmony with divine law always produces results. Think of the prodigal son who wandered into famine and lack, forgetting his father's house of plenty. He ate with the swine, believing he had fallen beyond redemption. Yet the moment he remembered who he was and where he belonged, he returned to his father's house, where abundance waited without condition. So it is with you. You may have wandered in the land of scarcity, but the palace of abundance has always been yours. The moment you remember and claim it, the robe, the ring, and the feast are restored. Do not mistake wealth as limited only to coins or possessions. Wealth is life in its fullness. It is radiant health, harmonious relationships, fertile ideas, divine protection, and yes, overflowing financial supply. When you see wealth only as money, you shrink the inheritance that is vast as the universe. True wealth is the wholeness of being, and money is but one of its many expressions. When you claim your birthright, you open yourself to riches in every area of life. Words of inheritance must become your daily decree. Instead of saying, "I cannot afford," say, "I inherit the riches of the universe." Instead of saying, "I am struggling," say, "I walk in my divine inheritance now." These declarations are not wishes, they are affirmations of truth. And truth, once spoken, sets all things in motion to align with it. Wealth as a birthright does not mean idleness. A prince does not inherit a kingdom to sit in slumber. He rules, he manages, he creates order. Likewise, when wealth flows to you, you are called to steward it wisely. But stewardship is joy, not burden, when it is done in alignment with divine supply. You do not grasp at wealth in fear, for fear is the language of thieves. You receive it in gratitude, knowing it cannot be lost, for what is divinely inherited cannot be stolen. Many shrink from this truth because they look at their present lack and say, "If wealth is my birthright, why do I not see it?" But the outer world always reflects the inner belief. If you believe you are poor, the outer must mirror poverty. If you believe you are wealthy, the outer must mirror abundance. The work is not first in the bank account but in the consciousness. Transform the inner vision, and the outer must obey. This is the law, and the law never fails. Gratitude is the proof of acceptance. When you are grateful, you acknowledge that the inheritance is already yours. Gratitude is not a response to what you see, it is the proclamation of what you know. You give thanks before the feast, and the feast appears. You give thanks before the riches, and the riches flow. Gratitude is the key that turns belief into manifestation. The time has come to release the old lie that wealth belongs only to the few. It belongs to all who claim it as their divine inheritance. The universe does not run dry. The riches of creation are endless, and you are a rightful heir. Walk no longer as a beggar, but as a child of abundance. Declare it, accept it, live it, and the outer world will conform to the truth of your being. Wealth is not a distant promise, it is your birthright here and now. Imagination is the womb of creation. Everything that exists in the material world first lived in the unseen realm of thought and vision. The building you stand within was first imagined by an architect. The garments you wear were once pictures in the mind of a designer. The inventions that shape your daily life, the telephone, the automobile, the light that shines in the night, all of these were born first in the invisible sanctuary of imagination before they were clothed in substance. Nothing exists in your world that was not first imagined, and so, if wealth is to flow into your life, it must first be pictured in the garden of your imagination. The power of imagination is not a child's game of idle fantasy. It is the divine creative faculty placed within you, the bridge between the unseen and the seen. When you imagine with faith, you plant the seed of reality. The mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is experienced in the physical. To the subconscious, both are equally true, and what the subconscious accepts, the outer world must eventually reflect. Thus, to imagine wealth is to set in motion the law that will bring it forth. The forgotten secret lies in this imagination is not mere daydreaming, but the deliberate act of seeing with the inner eye what you desire, and holding it with unwavering faith until the outer world reshapes itself in its likeness. Many live in poverty because their imagination is filled only with lack. They see bills piling up, they picture doors closing, they replay visions of struggle, and the law, ever faithful, brings forth exactly what they have pictured. For imagination, whether used rightly or wrongly, is always creative. If you wish to unlock unlimited wealth, begin first with the vision. See yourself walking in abundance. See yourself free of debt, free of worry, free of limitation. Picture the home you desire, the work you love, the freedom to give generously. Do not see it as far away or someday. See it now. The present moment is the canvas of creation, and what you paint upon it with your imagination becomes the future that awaits you. When you imagine with joy, with certainty, with gratitude, you are already living in that reality, and life must adjust itself to meet your vision. There is a sacred relationship between imagination and the spoken word. Words are the decree, but imagination is the picture. Together, they form the blueprint of creation. A word spoken without imagination is like a seed without soil, it falls without taking root. But when you clothe your words with living pictures in the mind, you give them ground in which to grow. Say, I am divinely supplied, and then see yourself living in that supply. Say, money flows to me in miraculous ways, and then picture doors opening, opportunities arising, unexpected blessings arriving. The picture in your imagination draws the unseen forces that bring the word to life. To live richly in imagination is to train your consciousness in wealth. The mind rehearses the vision until it accepts it as truth, and when the inner world accepts it, the outer world must yield. Just as an actor rehearses his role until he becomes the character, you rehearse the wealth in your imagination until you become the one who possesses it. Then, when wealth appears in your life, it is no surprise, for you have already lived it inwardly. Many dismiss imagination as fanciful, yet they use it constantly without knowing. The worrier imagines disaster, the fearful imagine loss, and their lives faithfully mirror their inner rehearsals. Imagination is not optional, it is the law of creation at work. The question is not whether you imagine, but what you imagine. Will you paint images of scarcity, or will you clothe your mind with pictures of prosperity? The choice is yours, and the outcome follows the vision. There is power in vivid detail. Do not merely imagine more money. Picture the check in your hands, the account full, the debts paid, the joy of freedom. Do not vaguely see yourself happy. Picture yourself walking in the home of your dreams, surrounded by peace, giving generously, living without restraint. The clearer the picture, the stronger the impression upon the subconscious, and the stronger the impression, the faster the manifestation. Life responds most readily to the vision that is held with feeling, detail, and conviction. Feeling is the lifeblood of imagination. A picture without emotion is a shadow, it fades quickly. But when you imagine wealth and feel the joy of it, as though it were already yours, you release a vibration that calls forth its likeness. Imagine yourself receiving abundance, and let your heart swell with gratitude as though it were already in your hands. Gratitude anchors the vision, and joy charges it with magnetic power. The universe responds not to empty words, but to words and pictures alive with feeling. Discipline the imagination as you would guard a treasury. When a picture of lack arises, do not entertain it. Replace it at once with the vision of abundance. If fear shows you loss, see yourself restored tenfold. If doubt paints failure, see yourself triumphant. The imagination must be trained like a garden. Left wild, it grows weeds of fear and scarcity. Cultivated with care, it produces a harvest of riches beyond measure. There are those who believe imagination is deception, that to picture what is not yet seen is to lie to oneself. But imagination is not lying. It is truth before it becomes visible. The tree is already in the seed though the eye does not yet behold it. The wealth is already in your spirit though your hands may not yet hold it. To imagine is to acknowledge what already exists in the unseen realm and to call it forth into visibility. Faith and imagination are inseparable, for faith is the assurance of things not seen, and imagination is the seeing of them before they appear. The greatest wealth begins as an idea. One inspired thought can open streams of prosperity greater than years of toil. The imagination is the well from which divine ideas flow. When you quiet your mind and open your inner eye, new ideas, inventions, and opportunities reveal themselves. These are not fantasies but seeds of wealth planted by the divine. To dismiss them is to bury treasure, to act upon them is to uncover fortune. Imagination does not only picture what already exists, it also receives the new, the unseen, the inventions and opportunities that are waiting to be born through you. Practice daily the art of divine imagination. Before sleep, picture yourself living in the abundance you desire, and let that vision sink into the depths of your subconscious. Upon waking, see the day ahead filled with opportunity, favor, and provision. Throughout the day, when doubts whisper, return to the inner picture of wealth, liven it inwardly, and soon it must clothe itself outwardly. The power of imagination is limitless, for it is the creative faculty of the divine working through you. Wealth cannot flow to the one who sees only lack, but it must flow to the one who holds wealth in the inner eye with certainty and joy. The world outside you is a mirror, and imagination is the painter's brush. Paint abundance within, and the mirror will reflect riches without. Imagination is the great forgotten secret, and to reclaim it is to reclaim the key that unlocks unlimited wealth. There is a river of abundance that flows through the universe, a river that never runs dry, a river that carries with it every form of wealth, opportunity, and blessing. Yet many stand beside this river and see only dryness in their lives. They ask, why does abundance not flow to me? Why do riches seem to bypass me? The answer often lies not in effort, not in talent, not even in imagination, but in a heart that has not yet learned to release and forgive. For as long as you cling to resentment, fear, anger, or regret, you build a dam across your own river of supply. The divine cannot flow where the channel is blocked. Forgiveness is the key that breaks the dam, and release is the act that lets the current rush in. To release is to let go of all that binds your spirit. Many imagine wealth, they speak words of abundance. They even believe wealth is their birthright, yet their lives remain barren because within they hold on to debts of the past. They carry bitterness toward those who wronged them, guilt toward themselves for mistakes made, or fear of being harmed again. These inner chains bind them more tightly than any lack in the outer world. The law is clear: whatever you hold against another, you hold against yourself. If you bind another in resentment, you bind your own prosperity. If you release another into freedom, you release yourself into wealth. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to another. It is a gift you give to yourself. The person who wronged you may never ask for forgiveness, may never acknowledge the pain they caused, but to hold them in bitterness is to keep your own soul in prison. The moment you forgive, you cut the chains that tied you to that hurt, and in cutting them, you free the flow of abundance back into your life. Forgiveness does not excuse what was done, it transforms your relationship to it. It says, "This no longer has power over me. I am free, and because I am free, wealth and good are free to flow to me." Release is the partner of forgiveness. To release is to let go of all attachments that keep you tethered to lack. Many hold on to old possessions, old habits, old fears, even old money that carries with it the energy of scarcity. They hoard, believing that by grasping tightly they will preserve what little they have. But grasping is a signal of fear, and fear repels abundance. The law of circulation is clear: what you release multiplies and returns. What you cling to in fear diminishes. Just as the farmer must release the seed into the soil to receive a harvest, so must you release with faith to receive increase. There are those who pray for wealth while secretly resenting the wealthy. They look at another's abundance and feel envy, bitterness, or suspicion. Yet such feelings are themselves barriers, for they declare to the subconscious, "Wealth is not good, wealth makes one corrupt, wealth is to be envied." And the subconscious, faithful servant that it is, will ensure you are never given what you secretly despise. Forgiveness here means forgiving wealth itself, releasing all negative beliefs about money, and blessing the prosperity of others. To bless another's abundance is to align yourself with abundance. To resent another's abundance is to reject your own. Forgive yourself as well, for many block their wealth by carrying guilt. They say, "I made mistakes with money in the past. I failed in business. I was careless. I do not deserve another chance." Such thoughts are chains upon the spirit. The divine does not keep a ledger of debts, and the law does not punish, it restores. Every moment is a new beginning. When you forgive yourself, you release the past and step into the present, and the present is the only moment where wealth can flow. To cling to guilt is to live in yesterday's poverty. To forgive is to open today's gates of abundance. Release fear, for fear is the great thief of riches. Fear of loss, fear of betrayal, fear of stepping into new opportunities. All these close the hand that would otherwise be open to receive. Imagine trying to catch water in a clenched fist. It slips away, but an open hand, relaxed and trusting, can hold it easily. Release the need to control every detail, release the terror of "what if," and step into the freedom of trust. Wealth flows not to the anxious but to the surrendered, for the surrendered spirit is a clear channel. Forgiveness and release are not once, for all acts. They are daily practices. Each day examine your heart. If bitterness has crept in, release it. If envy has whispered, forgive it. If guilt has risen, let it go. Each act of forgiveness is a stroke of the hammer against the dam, and soon the river breaks free, rushing with all the abundance you thought was withheld. Nothing was ever withheld, it was only blocked by your own chains. Practice speaking words of release. Say, "I release every person, every situation, every memory that binds me to lack. I forgive freely, I bless abundantly, I walk in freedom." Speak these words not once but often, and picture the chains falling, the doors opening, the river rushing. Feel the lightness that comes when you are no longer burdened by yesterday's wounds. That lightness is the signal that wealth is free to flow. Do not confuse release with indifference. To release does not mean you do not care. It means you no longer carry the poison of resentment. It means you have chosen freedom over bondage. Likewise, to forgive does not mean you condone what was wrong. It means you have chosen abundance over bitterness. It is a conscious act of aligning with the divine law that says, "Nothing can stop my good but myself." As long as you hold resentment, you live as though the past is stronger than the future. As long as you cling to guilt, You live as though mistakes are greater than grace. As long as you grasp in fear, you live as though scarcity is stronger than abundance. But the law of release and forgiveness is the law of truth, that abundance is always greater, freedom is always stronger, and wealth is always waiting. Forgiveness and release cleans the soul like a river clears away the debris. Once the debris is gone, the current flows swiftly, carrying with it riches, opportunities, ideas, and peace. Many who practiced every law of abundance and saw no results found that the breakthrough came the moment they forgave. The moment they blessed the one they envied, the moment they released the guilt they had carried for years. Suddenly, doors opened, debts were cleared, and wealth poured in, not because the supply had changed, but because they had finally removed the barriers. Release and forgiveness are not weakness, they are strength. It takes no strength to cling to anger. It takes divine strength to let it go. It takes no courage to live in fear. It takes divine courage to step into trust. Each act of release is an act of faith, and faith is the force that creates worlds. The law is unchanging. What you release returns multiplied. Release love, and love returns. Release wealth, and wealth returns. Release forgiveness, and forgiveness returns as freedom in every area of your life. The one who forgives is the one who prospers. The one who releases is the one who receives. Forgiveness and release are not only moral virtues, they are spiritual technologies, powerful forces that unlock unlimited wealth. Gratitude and expectancy are the twin pillars upon which unlimited wealth rests. One is the acknowledgement of what already exists. The other is the certainty of what is yet to come. Together they form the secret key that unlocks the storehouses of abundance and keeps them flowing without end. Many people strive, speak affirmations, and even imagine wealth, yet their lives remain empty because they have not yet mastered the vibration of gratitude and expectancy. Gratitude is the song of the soul that says, "I already possess," and expectancy is the attitude of the heart that says, "More is on its way." When these two forces work in harmony, there is nothing that can prevent the manifestation of riches. Gratitude is more than polite manners. It is not simply saying, "Thank you," when something good happens. Gratitude is a spiritual force, a state of consciousness that transforms lack into plenty. When you give thanks, even in the smallest matters, you signal to the universe that you recognize abundance already present in your life. The universe responds by multiplying what you have acknowledged. To be ungrateful is to close the gate, for it declares to life, "I do not see abundance," and what you do not see cannot expand. But to be grateful is to declare, "I see the richness here, and I know it is growing." And the law ensures that what you recognize and bless must increase. Many wait until wealth appears before they give thanks, but gratitude before manifestation is the true secret. It is easy to give thanks when the harvest is in hand, but the power lies in giving thanks before the seed has even broken the ground. When you give thanks in advance, you demonstrate faith, and faith is the substance that makes the unseen visible. The farmer gives thanks as he plants the seed, for he knows the harvest is certain. In the same way, you give thanks now for the wealth that is on its way, and your gratitude waters the seed until it appears in full. Expectancy is the natural partner of gratitude. Gratitude looks at the present and says, "This is good." Expectancy looks at the future and says, "Greater good is coming." Expectancy is not hope tinged with doubt, it is assurance. It is living each day with the confidence that abundance is arriving, just as one lives in expectancy when awaiting the arrival of the dawn. No one goes to bed wondering if the sun will rise. They expect it. In the same way, you must live each day expecting wealth to arrive, expecting doors to open, expecting opportunities to present themselves. This expectancy creates a vibration that draws abundance like a magnet. The law is simple: what you expect, you attract. If you expect struggle, struggle comes. If you expect lack, lack comes. But if you expect riches, riches must appear. Many sabotage themselves by asking in prayer and then expecting nothing to happen. Their words say one thing, but their expectancy says another. The universe does not respond to words alone, it responds to the vibration of belief. To expect with certainty is to set the law of abundance in motion. Gratitude and expectancy are practices, not fleeting feelings. They must be cultivated daily. Begin and end your day with gratitude. Count the blessings you already have, no matter how small. Give thanks for the roof over your head, for the breath in your lungs, for the opportunities already unfolding. Each act of gratitude sharpens your vision to see more good, and the more good you see, the more good multiplies. Then, move into expectancy. Say, something wonderful is on its way to me. I live in a universe of unlimited supply, and today it will show itself. Walk through the day as though the package of abundance were already on its way to your door. That vibration cannot fail to draw to you exactly what you expect. There is great power in giving thanks for wealth even before it manifests. Say, I give thanks for the unlimited riches flowing into my life. Feel the gratitude as though the wealth were already in your hands. Then live in expectancy, knowing it is impossible for the universe to fail you. Gratitude without expectancy can stagnate, for it says, I am content, but nothing more is coming. Expectancy without gratitude can be restless, for it says, I want more, but I see nothing to be thankful for. But gratitude and expectancy together create perfect balance. The joy of the present and the excitement of the future. Even in adversity, gratitude and expectancy hold the key. When circumstances appear barren, when debts press, when doors seem closed, that is the moment when gratitude and expectancy are most powerful. Give thanks not for the lack, but for the abundance already waiting to replace it. Expect not more of the same, but greater good breaking through. Gratitude in the face of lack declares, I know this is temporary. Expectancy in the face of challenge declares, I know abundance is near. These declarations shift the vibration, and the outer world must respond. Gratitude is the antidote to fear. Fear says, I may lose what I have. Gratitude says, I am so rich already. Expectancy is the antidote to doubt. Doubt says, it may never come. Expectancy says, it is already on the way. To live in gratitude and expectancy is to live in the vibration of abundance constantly, and abundance cannot help but manifest where that vibration is held. Remember that gratitude is not silent, it must be expressed. Speak it aloud, write it down, share it with others. Each act of expression reinforces it in your own consciousness. Likewise, expectancy is not passive, it must be active. Expectancy does not sit idle, waiting with folded hands. Expectancy walks forward, prepares the way, acts as though the good is already present. If you expect a guest, you prepare the house. If you expect wealth, you prepare your life to receive it. That preparation is itself a signal to the universe that you are ready. Every time you give thanks, you affirm your oneness with the infinite supply. Every time you expect good, you affirm your faith in the law of abundance. Together, gratitude and expectancy lift you out of the realm of chance and into the realm of certainty. They transform life from a struggle of scarcity into a dance of continual increase. The richest people in spirit are not those who grasp and complain, but those who bless and expect. Bless every dollar that passes through your hands, no matter how small, and it will return multiplied. Expect every investment of energy, time, and love to return with interest, and it will. Bless the wealth of others and expect your own to grow, and it shall. Gratitude and expectancy are never-ending circles. What you thank for multiplies, what you expect arrives, and what arrives brings more for which to give thanks. When you make gratitude and expectancy your daily companions, wealth ceases to be a distant dream. It becomes a living reality. You no longer chase prosperity, you attract it. You no longer struggle for riches, you live in the flow of them. The secret is not in strain or striving, but in the heart that says, I give thanks for the riches already mine, and I expect more to appear each day. With this consciousness, unlimited wealth is no longer hidden, it is revealed, and it comes to stay. We have journeyed through the forgotten secret, and step by step the veil has lifted. The spoken word has shown itself as the creative command, the key that opens unseen doors. The truth of wealth as a divine birthright has reminded us that prosperity is not a privilege of the few, but the natural inheritance of all. The power of imagination has unveiled the inner eye, the canvas where riches are first painted before they appear in form. The law of release and forgiveness has taught us that chains of resentment, fear, and guilt block the flow of supply, and only freedom of spirit allows abundance to rush in. Finally, the secret of gratitude and expectancy has revealed the vibration of increase, the twin currents that transform life into a continual outpouring of riches. The forgotten secret is not far away, nor hidden in mysteries too great to grasp. It is as near as your own words, as close as your own thoughts, as present as your own heart. Every moment you are shaping your world with speech, vision, release, and gratitude. Every moment you are either aligning with lack or with abundance. The universe waits not for struggle, not for pleading, but for recognition, for the soul that knows, speaks, forgives, imagines, and gives thanks as though the wealth were already here. Unlimited wealth does not lie in the future. It is here, now flowing, waiting for you to step into harmony with the law. When you walk in that harmony, when your words, thoughts, and feelings unite in faith, the gates of abundance cannot remain closed. They swing wide, and you find yourself living in the fullness that was always yours. For the secret was never truly lost. It was simply waiting for you to remember.